Hello folks, welcome back from the long weekend. I hope you had a great, enjoyable, relaxing time. I was able to take my kids down to Moab and give them some nature therapy, so it was awesome. You may have noticed that I've switched the order a little bit going forward. I decided I really wanted us to talk about assessment and what that means before we move on and talk about metacognition and self-regulation, because in lesson 2, which is the one on metacognition, we'll actually start developing some of the assessments for your assessment inventory. So I wanted to make sure we took a step back and had some time to explore what assessment is, some of the different forms that it can take, etc., before we moved into that metacognition lesson. So hopefully it didn't cause too much confusion that all of a sudden there was a lesson 12 when we should have been on lesson 2. But that's what we'll be working on this week. So there is a study guide associated with that. If you want to go into the modules area, you can find that study guide and download it. And then basically just go through the materials for lesson 12. There's no discussion board this week or anything unless you all would like to talk about assessment. But for now, we're just going to kind of get familiar with some of the vocabulary. What does assessment mean? What are some of the characteristics of assessment that we need to kind of watch out for? By the end of this week, I would also like you to think about whether you'd like to do the assessment inventory by yourself or in a group. Either one is fine with me. You kind of need to think about your schedule, your experience with assessment previously, etc. And just let me know within the next week or two if you want to be in a group and who your group members would be, or if you want to work independently. If you are not taking curriculum, so the EDSC 4550 class, or if you have very little experience in classrooms or with assessment from a teacher perspective, then I would recommend you really try to get with a group. This can be kind of tough. Assessment's one of the hardest things that we do in education, at least if you want to do it right. So it can be really nice to have somebody to bounce ideas off of and to work with to develop these assessments. For the assessment inventory, we're going to create 8 different forms of assessment, everywhere from a paper and pencil test that I'm going to teach you how to do correctly, down to little in-class bell ringers and exit slips. So really a variety of skills and strategies for assessing students. And if you've never done that before, it can be a little intimidating. Also, if you're not in curriculum, you may not be very familiar with the core curriculum, the standards and objectives that you need to teach your students. And those need to be in mind and are part of our assessment inventory. So again, if you're not in curriculum, if you have little experience in classrooms and with assessment, then I would strongly recommend you do this in a group. If you've got a really tight schedule and might have some trouble having any kind of group meetings, or if you feel fairly comfortable, you've already done some assessing of students before and would like to try this on your own, then that's fine too. I have students do it both ways every semester. As far as the group work goes, you're welcome to work through the collaborations area here in Canvas. You can set up Google Docs there and share them. I can also create groups for you on Canvas, so if you tell me who your group members are, that would allow you to collaborate in those areas, have your own discussion boards and files and things like that. You are also welcome to work across sections of my class. So if there's nobody in our online class that's in your content area, you're welcome to work with somebody that's in your content area that's in another section of my class. I'd rather the groups not get beyond about 3 or 4 members. That seems to be fairly ideal for this assignment. And I'd also really prefer it, and I know you hear this from every teacher, but I'd prefer it if you didn't divide and conquer. We want you to leave this program having some level of mastery over all 9 different forms of assessment. You get 1 form of assessment in your curriculum class and 8 more with me. We don't want you leaving our program with mastery in 3 types. So dividing and conquering, that's what would result. We really want you to have input and feedback and collaboration on all 9 types of assessment by the end of the program. So, think about what's going to work for your schedule, what's going to work for you, and just let me know by the end of the week, just via email, if you're going to work in a group, who your group members are going to be. Otherwise, you're just working through Lesson 12. The stuff that's there in the modules area for Lesson 12, just take it step by step. Again, my door is open. My email is available. I'm back from Moab, so I can answer questions from emails that occurred over the weekend. And we'll just get right back into the swing of things. Thanks, guys.